And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to our fabulous facilitators for today. So today, Dr. Pam Hedgespath, who is the Executive Director of GO-CSD, and Dr. Deanna Sheets from Branson are going to be leading our learning. And I'm so excited to be able to turn it over to them.
All right, welcome. I'm going to share my screen here to get us started. I'm so excited about just the work that is going on in Missouri and the partnerships that are being made. It's just such an exciting time. And so we're going to start today, as Debbie mentioned, we're going to start with a little bit of a historical overview of just some of the foundational studies that have been going on for several years and that have really influenced this work. Can you see my screen, Pam? Do you see it? Okay. So on the Success Ready Student Network website, which it is linked at the bottom of the agenda, so if you want to follow along, but I'll keep my screen shared with you, you can click on the framework, and that's going to take you to, at the bottom, there will be a foundational studies. So we're going to start with just looking at a few of the foundational studies that were influential in the work that we're doing and this journey. So it really goes back to 2012 with the DESE Proficiency-Based Task Force. I'm sure that as I talk about some of these, many of you were a part of this work, or your district was a part of this work. But we started back in 2012 with the DESE Proficiency-Based Task Force. And then a couple of years later, we had the MASA Accreditation and Assessment Task Force. And I recognize a few districts that are on here, like I said, that were a part of that. Then in 2017, we started, DESE started the Missouri, actually a group of schools created the Missouri Assessment Partnership, or also called MOAP. And this group really took initiative in building a system of education from the learner up. And much of the work that we are talking about today around success ready students and competency-based learning is really around the work and the foundation that that group set for us. There's several other studies here you can see. If I scroll down, you can actually click on them and read about them. So if these are new to you, you can take a look at them and see what work they did. In the spring of 2022, DESE commissioned the Success Ready Student Work Group to be created and to work on these and build off of these previous studies. And so from that work group, the Success Ready Work Group created recommendations. And so I'm going to go to the next slide. Over here, they basically created, the Success Ready Student Work Group, 5 recommendations that they sent to the Missouri State Board of Education. And I'm going to hit briefly on each of these, and then we're going to spend the bulk of our day today around this competency-based learning. So the first recommendation was around launching innovation zones. And the focus for these innovation zones, and I'm going to click here, was to create groups and schools that wanted to be innovative and forward-thinking with competency-based learning. And the first innovation zone is called the System Design Zone. We have, in the state of Missouri, 25 districts that make up the System Design Zone. And these are districts that wanted to lead in CBL and to collaborate with each other. They're also working on state and federal waivers and advising and providing feedback to the state on assessment and accreditation. The second innovation zone is called the Innovative Learning Design Zone, and that's around ILDZ, or it's called ILDZ, and there's around 29 districts in the state that are a part of that innovation zone. This zone is for districts who wanted to lead and emerge as districts that wanted to learn more about competency-based learning. They partner with the SDZ once a month to just engage in conversations, collaborate, and learn. The third innovation zone that was created, if I scroll down here, was the Collaborative Network Zone, or the CNZ. And this innovation zone is for the state and regional educational organizations and included post-secondary higher ed. So in the state of Missouri, we have 4 universities and 14 state and regional organizations that are a part of this. So as we look back at these 5 recommendations, if you're interested, your district is interested in becoming a part of the innovation zones, I encourage you to reach out to Dr. Hedgespath, and she can get you more information about what that would look like. So then we're going to go to the next one, and these are actually kind of two together here. It was a recommendation from the Success Ready Student Work Group to redesign assessment and redesign the accreditation system. And although this is primarily under DESE's umbrella and their role, the SDZ Innovation Zone works with DESE to provide feedback and to help guide that. The next two recommendations from the Student Success Ready Work Group were to expand business to education partnerships. So really looking at how we can partner more with businesses. And then the next one was to engage stakeholders and communicate. And as I mentioned, the one we're going to spend the most time on is the developing policy for competency-based learning. And I want to emphasize the circle in the middle. You'll notice when we look at the circle here, the students are at the center of this, and this has been the center of the work for the Student Success Ready Work Group and for the Student Success Ready Network. And the network was created, if I go back to this foundational study, the network was created from the work group to basically play out and work those recommendations and make sure that they happen. So you'll see the students are in the middle, as I mentioned, and it's followed by the knowledge and the skills and the disposition that the students should be learning. So all of this work is student focused, and that's so important in this work and all of competency-based learning.